Welcome to Talking Trash, and today we're going to talk pharmaceutical trash. We are going to talk about problems with pharmaceuticals and proper disposal, and so I would like you to welcome Teresa Gilbertson from the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency.
Hello.
Hi, Teresa. Thanks for coming up.
No problem.
A question for you. What are the concerns for the pharmaceuticals in our area or in the state of Minnesota?
Well, actually, the improper disposal of pharmaceuticals, the problem with them in just flushing them down the toilet or down a drain is they'll get into the surface waters. And there's been many studies documenting and proving actually the negative health impacts from these. They're actually chemicals, pharmaceuticals. People tend to think of them as, oh, it's just aspirin or it's just this, but they're actually compounds, chemical compounds that once out into the environment can do a lot of damage to the aquatic life, and there's also human health impacts that are associated with them, particularly with small children. There's also certain types of cancers that have been linked with these compounds out in our surface waters. And as far as the aquatic life, you know, we all heard a few years back it was the hot topic of the five-legged frogs. Well, amphibians or frogs are kind of the coal in the mine shaft, if you will, of they're called an indicator organism. So they're indicating something is really wrong with their environment. Well, why do we care if a frog has 5 legs? Why we should care is because we're next in line. And if it's impacting a small organism, it's going to impact a larger one, like humans. Yep. Eventually, yeah. So, but that is the health link with it. But a lot of people go, well, I don't have any pharmaceuticals. What is that anyway? Basically, you go to your bathroom cabinet, open the door, and there's going to be something in there that would qualify as a pharmaceutical. Now, once they become unusable or unwanted, that's when the disposal of them becomes critical, to not put them down your drain or flush them down your sewer. So there's many programs around the state that have set up pharmaceutical consolidation sites, or for instance, a local sheriff will put a kiosk placed in their sheriff office where people can drop these off free of charge. They'll just bring in the container, drop it in the box, and from there, typically a local pharmacist will come and sort the waste, and they'll sort out any controlled substances from hazardous waste, from just any solid waste, and they'll sort all that, and then a hazardous waste disposal company will take it and properly dispose of it, which includes incineration. So that's the proper way to dispose of pharmaceuticals or chemical compounds.
And so I know that for us, as far as a household hazardous waste facility, there are more and more questions from residents and from even pharmacies that are saying, what can we do? The pharmacies are starting to get people wanting to bring chemicals or the pharmaceuticals back to them. And because of their own set of rules, we have a set of rules that we have to deal with, they do too, and they're unable to take the pharmaceuticals back. And so with the next Talking Trash show, we'll talk about kind of what we can do, how we can dispose of it. But so how does where do we find these chemicals? Is it just in our medicine cabinet, or?
Sources include not just households. Minnesota Pollution Control Agency has done studies of the effluent water coming out of wastewater treatment plants. That's what's downstream of the wastewater treatment plant. They also tested, by the way, upstream, and also found chemicals. So, well, why should we be concerned? Well, because 80% of those samples showed pharmaceutical levels. And with some of these chemical compounds, it takes a very small amount, trace amount, parts per trillion even, that can do damage. So it doesn't take, sometimes with, depending on the chemical, it doesn't take a whole lot to do, to have negative health impacts or to impact our aquatic community.
And ultimately us. So in our next Talking Trash, we'll talk a little bit more about pharmaceuticals, a little bit more about them, and then how to dispose of them.
Sounds great.
Thank you, Teresa. Thanks. Have a great day.